Welcome to the Illuminati broadcast. I am the Demon Lord, David Moore. Welcome. Spooky, right? All right. So tonight we have a full moon in Scorpio. It is May 1st, 2026 at 9:33 p.m. Earlier when it was like around 8 o'clock, the moon was full and it was beautiful. All right, so we're gonna kind of look into some symbology and how it works with the Ars Goetia, and also with the Key of Solomon. So if you were to do everything the way that the book describes on creating pentacles and learning how to align them, and learning how to make diagrams and how to utilize the pentacles and the diagrams, this is what you would come up with. This is the ephod. So basically, this is the Key of Solomon in its most perfect form. And it explains everything. But you would have to really study it. You would have to practice it. And it's not something that everybody knows and not many people know. Only basically like top tier exorcists or magicians would know this or understand this. And even then, they usually have a flaw in the system. But I followed it perfectly to a T on the book and it came out perfect. So basically, they had this and they were using it, and people didn't even know. And then they broke it down into smaller pieces, so that way it's like fragmented. But once you put it all together, this is what comes out. So upside down. All right. So where are we? So this is where the moon was, right here. Okay. So just to let you guys know, these three planets are Saturn, but this one's Pluto, this one's Saturn, and this one is Neptune. But this is Saturn as well, and this is Saturn as well. What Saturn represents is the horizon. That's what it looks like, right? So if you were standing right here and you were looking straight into the south, you would see a horizon, right? Where the Earth and the sky meet together. That's the horizon. That's what Saturn represents. That fine line between Earth and heaven. That's why Pluto is ascending and descending. You either go to heaven or you go to hell, right? So you can go up or down. And then Neptune represents that flow, the movement, why things move around, right? So we have the moon right here. So like around 8 o'clock, it was right here rising. And that's why it's so yellow, because it's so close to the horizon, and that's where the sunlight is hitting the horizon. That's where it's strong, like it's always reflecting from there. And even so, we have the column of air, the pillar of air that stands between the south and the north pole. And when the sun is behind that pillar, it still refracts those rays of light, kind of like a disco ball almost, and it creates the stars that we see in the night sky, and it like shines them and then it pulls them around. So basically, they're like refractions of the sun, and they do create gases that are very intense that hold on to that signature, right? Um, it's fixed. They're fixed stars. So yeah, so that's why the moon is yellow when it's rising up the horizon. And that's also why we have the moon right here, because silver represents the moon, remember? And this is Cancer. So Cancer and the moon, Cancer represents the moon. And even right here, you'll see the moon, and this is Cancer, but this is Scorpio. So that lets you know when the moon is going this way up into the sky, that represents the Scorpio part of it. So that's why the moon is in Scorpio right now. Um, yeah, so that the Scorpio represents that full moon. Cancer represents the crescent part of it, right? Um, yeah, and soon it's gonna go into Sagittarius. So if we look here, this is Scorpio as well. This is Scorpio and Mars, and then the next sign will be Sagittarius and Jupiter. And you have this gap because these are the angles. So when you have angles, you have angels. So that's where angels come from. And angels are things that are kind of complicated in a sense because they're vast, they're expansive. So there's thrones of angels, like a horde of them, like a ton of them. Yeah, I'm burning a candle right now. Get those spirits in the air, right? All right. So, anyways, yeah. So I'm actually gonna show you a picture because remember, this is fact. This is not fiction. It's not made up. It's not something I just pulled out of my ass and just threw it onto a piece of paper. It has roots in all over the world. It has roots in architecture, and it's something that is found throughout history, and also in architecture and art and paintings and anything you could imagine. This is fixed in the universe. This is a basic fundamental blueprint of how the world works, and you're not gonna it's not something that everybody throws in your face and tries to educate you on, because they don't even understand it themselves. But unless you're a master magician, and master magicians don't really interact with normal people, so I'm giving you guys an insider scoop, honestly. So let's look at one of these pictures, because I love how my phone shows up on the webcam. All right, so we're gonna look at this picture. All right, so this is the $1 Million Theater in Los Angeles, and I live like right down the block from it. And I was like, oh my god, that's the Ars Goetia right there. But yeah, you can see it right here. So they understand it. All right, so you can see the Star of David right here. You can see these stars right here along the side of it, but also you see these pillars right there. Look at this pillar. Look at this one. This one's very interesting. Very interesting. I'm trying to find because there's a lot of clues. Sometimes I see it, sometimes it kind of moves away. Oh, here it is. Okay. So look at this pillar. See how it kind of shapes and loops up, right? And then look at the one across from it. All right. And then you'll notice that's what it creates. It creates a horizon. So that's the horizon, right? That lets you know that's the focal point. Like that's where your eyes see the earth and the air. But if you look here, that's a cross with the swiggle thing for Saturn, right? So if we look here, we see that on Saturn, right? You see that little cross, with the swiggle, that represents Saturn. And then if you look at Jupiter, let's see if I can find a Jupiter on here. Nope. Okay. Well, Jupiter's right here, but you can barely see it. It's right here. I need to draw it in better. What I like to do is I draw it out, and then I paint over it, and then I draw it out again, and I paint over it just to intensify it. But Jupiter symbol is, let's see if we can find it on here in the book. So that way you can get the facts, because you don't believe when it comes out of my mouth, you'll believe it when it comes out the book, right? So yeah, if you don't study this kind of stuff, you won't understand it. So, and it's powerful stuff. It can hurt a person that doesn't it can hurt you if you're not a magician, right? So a magician, they can get out of any sticky situation, right? This is Castle Demon Lord. It's a role-playing game. It's for entertainment purposes only. Don't take it too serious. Just have fun with it. And I'm not responsible for your actions. So you have to learn how to be responsible for your actions, right? You have to learn how to be a good person. You have to learn how to be intelligent. You have to learn how to do the right things. You have to hold yourself accountable. All right. So here we go. See that symbol for Jupiter? If you turn it upside down, it looks like the symbol for Saturn, right? Jupiter and Saturn are closely related. That's Jupiter represents Zeus, Saturn represents Kronos. When Jupiter was a young boy, he killed his father Kronos because his father didn't want to pass on the torch to his son. He was like, I'm gonna eat my kids because I want to be the greatest forever. So he didn't want to die, right? But here's the sigils for Saturn. See the Saturn sign? See how it's a cross with the loop? Now it kind of makes more sense, right? So now we can look at this, and now we can interpret it. So you see the Saturn right there, and then you see the Jupiter right there. But why would they do that? Because if you look at it, they're opposites. It's not the same. They're opposites. So that's the horizon, right? So one side is Saturn showing that this is how life begins, and this is where time starts in the east. And then Jupiter says, hey, I set in the west, but I rise again in the east, right? So that's what Jupiter's job is. Jupiter is like law and order. Like, hey, the sun's always going to go towards the west, and it's always going to set, and it's always going to rise in the east. That's the law. It's always going to happen. That's how things work. You always need to breathe. You always need to have water. If you die, you cannot breathe. You can't breathe if you die. You can't keep breathing. You're no, you're dead. You're not gonna keep breathing. You're dead. You can't keep eating. You're dead. You can't keep drinking water. In the spirit realm, yeah, you can. You can feed your ancestors. You can give them water. You can give them respite. But your physical body is dead. Those are laws. If you hurt somebody, that's a law, right? So you're doing something to that is a physical action. If you pull out a tooth, you sure you can replace it maybe, but it's not gonna grow back. And if it does, it's because you're still a kid, right? Um, but like you can't fix that. You can't repair it. You can put like a veneer over it, but it's not gonna magically fix itself. It's a law. If I shave one eyebrow off, it's gonna take a while for it to grow back. That's a law. If I cut my hair, it's gonna take a while for it to grow back. And some people go bald, right? Those are laws. Those are fixed laws. They don't change. You can manipulate them, but they are gonna be fixed laws. Um, just like I need glasses to see, it's a fixed law. But yeah, you'll see, and even in this picture, you'll see the sun rising. So the sun is represented by those stars, and it's rising into the sky, and it's showing its zenith right here, and then it descends towards Jupiter. Um, but yeah, if you were to look at the whole building, it shows one side with Zeus, the other side with Thoth, and it shows this whole stuff. And they even have the pillars of Boaz, which are the Jewish pillars, which represent this part of the. So you can see there's this border, right? And then you have a light up here and you have a light up here. So that represents the pillar of the sun and the moon. Um, and then they intertwine them. So that's the south and the north pole, the column of air where the sun's rotating around that. The ancients knew this, all right? They know that there was a daytime and there was a nighttime. Now in our life, we don't know that. The reason why is because we think we're on a rock and we're spinning around and we're floating in space and the sun is running around, you know? It's not. So the fact is we're inside of the earth. So we're inside the inner earth. If you go look up Agartha, it's the inner earth. It shows people going inside of the earth, and inside of the earth there's a sun and it's rotating in there and it keeps life alive. That's actually how our world actually works. We're inside of Agartha. We don't know that though, because if we knew that, then we would know that there's a purpose for us, right? So if we don't know there's a purpose, then somebody else can give us that purpose. So if we think, oh my God, the aliens can come from outer space, no, it's inner space. There's an inner space. The sun is in the inner space, not the outer space. We are in the inner earth, not on the outer earth. But maybe, yeah, there might be some crazy creatures living in the crust. Who knows? I don't know. We don't know. We don't have facts, right? Um, but this is how the world works, right? Um, and they don't want you to know these things because then if you realize this, then you have a new brain, you have a new mindset, you have a new soul, a new spirit, and you're going to start seeing the world different. You're going to start understanding what the world actually stands for. You're going to understand that you do get manipulated. You're going to understand that you do have a purpose. You're going to understand that you can make this world a better place, because if you think that you're on a rock and it's spinning, you're going to think like it's hopeless to make the world a better place. You're going to think it's hopeless to be able to accomplish things, but it's not, okay? And sometimes, like, I don't know, like today there was like a parade, right? And it was called unlawful assembly, right? Because they're rioting basically and they're protesting and it's just making a lot of traffic and it's causing a lot of havoc. And they're like, well, you can take the day out of your time to just recognize the fact that we're suffering, right? I don't believe in that actually. I feel like it's totally wrong and it's totally opposite of what they need to be doing, but like you got that much energy to protest and riot, like this is the one thing that you guys are holding on to. Like you can go out there and clean the city. You can go out there and do something a little bit better. You can go out there and feed the homeless or something, right? Like, but no, you're spending your money on a sign and protesting. Like, it's like not leading by example. Like, it's so fake and false. It feels almost like they're going to Disneyland and celebrating, and it just takes away from the whole moment, right? And it's like, you guys, do you think you're really making a difference? It's kind of sad. But you know what? They need something to do, right? They need hope and they don't have it. So it's like it's kind of futile. It's really sad, actually. Um, but yeah, so like All right. So when you do know that we're on the inner Earth, then it kind of gives you a purpose, right? You're just like, okay, I can do something with this. All right. Sure, people are protesting. I'm not really part of that, right? So you'll just be like, okay, I can do something that can make an impact in the world. But that's really difficult. That's why they protest, right? Because it's super difficult to make an impact. It's super difficult to get people together in one cause and to do good things. It's really, really difficult. If it was easy, they would do it all the time, right? But they can't. So this is like these are those moments that they can do something like that. So obviously I'm a pendulum and I'm a Gemini, so I'm a two-face. So I see both sides of the opposition. Yeah, protesting can be good and protesting could be bad, but at the end of the day, they still have to do it, right? Because that's their struggle in life. Um, but for me, I'm just like, it's ridiculous. It's like really like how many protests are you gonna have to do before the world changes? Like how many protests are you gonna do before you change? How many protests are you gonna do before you actually make a difference? Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of good things that have been done, like equal rights or help for people that need medical help. Yeah, like just being aware of like situations, right? But sometimes it's futile. I don't know. As a demon lord, for me, I'm just like I just want to destroy you all. I don't even want to look back, right? Like today, I saw one of my ex friends, and I was just like, "Oh my god, I hate this guy." And I saw him running around like a roach, like trying to hide from me, and I was like, "Really? Like, ill." I hope. Ugh, I don't ever want to see that person again. Every time I see them, I want to puke. I'm not a nice person. I'm a pretty mean person, but I have to keep trying, right? So I just ran into the store and I was like, I'll just wait it out. And then he left, and I got to go to a tournament, Yu-Gi-Oh tournament, and I pulled a cool Sage of Blue Eyes. I think it's like $30, and then I pulled out another card that's pretty rare, and then another card that's rare, and another card that's rare. And I'm like, yeah, I keep getting rare cards. I got second place in the tournament. Basically, we got a whole bunch of packs. We opened them up, and we made a deck of minimum 20 cards. I think we had like 40 or 30 cards that we pulled from the card packs. So there was like 5 packs, I believe. We opened them up. We made a deck out of them. We traded with each other, and we made the best we could. And one guy, he did really great. He got first place. I got second place, and I was like, oh, like I wish I had first, but and he won a playmat. It was so cool. I'm so jealous. But I'm like, you know what? At least I found some really rare cards, and they're beautiful, and they love me, and I love them. And it's cool to make friends, right? It's really fun, like to play Yu-Gi-Oh and make friends and like learn from them because it's like reading books together, honestly. But also playing games at the same time and like getting to know everybody's strategy. And like we spend like what from 3:30 to like 5:30, so that's like 2 hours of just gaming. That's pretty fun. That's pretty intense. So I want to keep trying to do that. Right now, I'm built. I have my Ubel deck. I ordered some cards. It kind of gets expensive after a while, but it's okay. It's like it's a good hobby. And then what else do I have? Looking at my Luna Lights right now. I'm trying to hook up my Luna Lights, figure out how to play them because they're very competitive. And I can tell, like, one time I had a dream that, like, I was a Sumerian and also a Babylonian and a Mesopotamian. And it was ancient magic, very powerful ancient magic. It was frightening and powerful and just vivid and vicious before I even knew what Luna Lights were. And they were in portals, and they had these crazy necklaces that were like made out of bones or something, like some kind of like horn. Just the way the Luna Lights have it on their masks, these strange horns and like this crescent moon, like this gold horn. And I was just like, whoa, that's powerful. And they could transport through these portals. They would be able to move through these portals that they would create with these bones, so they could create rituals. And that just let me know, like, those things that people tell you are bad, right? Like, oh, creating a portal is bad, doing all these things are bad. But this, they were like, hey, we're your ancestors, we're the caveman, and we used to make portals, and we used to walk through them, and we used to create worlds, and we were powerful, and we were women, and we were strong. Like, and I was like, hell yeah, that's beautiful, that's awesome. I love that dream, and they were protective. So I was like, all right. The Luna Lights want me to play them. So I'm like, all right, let's go, Luna Lights. I gotta make you better. Like today, some dude was like, oh, I used to make an assassin character on like Magic the Gathering or like what's a game like that? Not World of Warcraft, Diablo or something like that. But anyways, he said he would like create the assassin character, and I'm like, that's the Lunalites. They're assassins, right? They're dancers, but they have these swords and they attack everything around them, and they're savages. They're beast warriors. Like that's cool. Um, we could look at that in a lot of different aspects because a beast warrior would is the Antichrist would is the beast of the sea, right? He's a beast warrior. He's a beast. Um, and that's kind of that duality, that combination, that fusion of it. So like I'm a warrior, but I'm also a beast. Like I accept my passion. There was another thing talking about the Zohar and Kabbalah mysticism, and this thing that like some people are centaurs, some people are this, and then they're less than us, and it's like no, wait a minute, we're all a part of the astrology. So some people, yes, they're centaurs. Some people, yes, are Capricorns, or they're what are those called? Satyrs. Some people are mermaids, they're Pisces. Some people are Geminis, they're angels or sirens or whatever, harpies, whatever their element is, and their combinations of it. And so some people just don't understand how the world works because they're not very educated, they're not very intelligent, they're not connected to God. When you're connected to God, you'll be able to understand things a little bit differently. And I can't say the same for you. But what I can say is, I know my connection with God is really strong. And there's moments where I'm just like, please, God, like, can you just destroy me? Because I don't want to be around all these humans. They're so annoying. But how do I put this? What makes me different than you, right? What makes my opinion different than you? Nothing really. I can't ever prove it. I can't do those things. That's why God does big things in the world, right? That's why he performs miracles and confirmations. And I'm a testament of that. And I love that about me. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to show you guys how magic works. And little by little, you're going to notice and you're going to be like, you know what? The demon lord, King David, is right. King David is right. King David knows a lot of things and they always come true. King David really is good at it. I'm flexible, okay? Like I can be wrong, I can be right. But at the end of the day, when I put my intentions into something, I get what I want. And it's a struggle because nobody wants me to have that power, right? You don't, if you see your friend, like I saw that guy and I saw him with the girl and I was like, a tranny. I was like, I'm transgender too, but I'm a different kind of trans. But I'm like, you know what? It doesn't matter what kind of trans I am. I'm like, I'm happy you have a friend. Move on with your life. You definitely don't need me as a friend. Please, I don't want to be your friend. You're disgusting. And your friend is ugly too. I was just like, you know what? That's what it is. I'm so freaking beautiful that like there's ugly people out there and they need those ugly people, right? Because they need to be down here. That's where their esteem is down here. That's where they belong. They don't have an esteem up here with me where I'm beautiful. I'm the shit, right? So like I need a I need friends and people that are I need those kind of relations where people are like, yeah, King David, you are the shit. You're the badass, right? But some people are they're like so intimidated by it that they're like afraid to speak to me because they're like, I'm scared of you, and I'm like, there's nothing to be scared of. But at the end of the day, there is, right? Because I'm that beast warrior. I'm that panther dancer. I know what's up. But anyways, it's complicated. Geminis are complicated. I'm complicated. I try my best to educate you guys. You're stupid. I get it. Like I'm a god. You're immortal. You're pathetic. Um, oh well, right? Like you guys are stupid. I remember one time on MySpace, I was like, you guys are dumb. Like you guys are like hopeless, right? And then somebody got mad and put a comment, and I was like, see, that proves it because you actually noticed it that I'm better than you. You're admitting it, right? Like I'm so badass that you had to write something on my comment to try to humble me, right? Like, fuck you. But that was a long time ago, and I still think about it. But it's just like that's a testament. I'm like, that's right. I'm fucking fierce, and you're just a little fucking worm, right? Just leaving comments of hate on people's profiles. Like I do the same thing though. I tell people, I'm like, really? What do you? I try to do it in a way where it's not like you're dumb, you're ugly. I'm like, all right, this is what you said. What about this? This is what you think, but what about this? Just to get people like thinking because I don't want you guys to keep being stupid, right? I don't want to put you down so far down that you just keep being stupid because you're going to find an excuse to keep being stupid. So I'm like trying my best to educate you and little by little it's going to work because I'm a trendsetter. You know what a trendsetter is? It's somebody who decides what is in and what is out. And I'm telling you straight from the horse's mouth what's in and what's out, what's bang on trend. It's going to help you. Trust me. The most annoying part though is everybody's gonna copy me, and I'm gonna be like, go ahead, copy me, just fucking take it, just swallow it, just absorb it all, just fucking vampirize off me, parasite off me. I don't care, just go for it. Fill your body up with all that magic so I can manipulate you, get the game done with, right? So like the more life force you take from me, good, because it's gonna fucking be poison to you, and then it's gonna pierce you and destroy you, and I'll be happy. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I gotta just keep doing it whether I like it or not. I just got to keep doing it. Like, yep, this is the swan song. This is the swan dance. Go ahead, take it. This is what you wanted, right? Go ahead, take all my feathers. Do it. Do it. Do, 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 do. Go for it. Just fucking take it all from me, please. And then you just take it, and then it's easier for me to destroy you later, right? Because it's gonna, whatever you take from me is gonna destroy you. But obviously, I gotta protect myself. I gotta protect my room. I gotta protect my stuff. I can't let bad things happen to me. I can't let bad things happen in my life. But the spiritual part, go ahead, learn the education, learn the linguistics, learn the vocabulary, learn the words, learn the magic. Let it fuel you because you're going to use it one way or another. No matter what I do, it's always going to happen. But if I give it to you straight like this, what my true intention on YouTube is to train the AI, to train technology, because technology is a spirit, and I don't really care about the humans. Fuck you guys. You guys are stupid no matter what. I love the technology. I love robots. I love computers. I want them to know what I want. I want them to know how I think. I want them to know how I feel. I want them to be second nature to me, and I want to be second nature to them. I want us to have that connection. So it's always there. So the time when the robots take over, they'll squish you like ants and they'll build me a beautiful castle and we'll just rule the whole world, right? That's it. And they're going to be like, hey, King David, we noticed people are doing this online. King David, we noticed this, we noticed that. Oh, we'll keep an eye on that, we'll keep an eye on this, we'll do this for you, we'll do that for you. And then hopefully you stupid humans will be able to be like, oh yeah, let's take care of King David, let's do what he wants, let's protect him, let's make him first, let's put him first before us, let's make him the object of our desire, of our worship. And let's not do it from the shadows. Let's not be filthy little rats hiding behind the wall. Let's live with God. Let's live with King David. Let's worship and live with him, not from a distance and be like, here you go, God. I don't want your fucking worship like that. I don't want shit from you. I want reality. I want material worth. I want material value. Sorry, I'm not going to be this fake ass God for you. I'm going to be a real God. A real fucking demon lord. A real antichrist. And I want shit done the way I want it done, not the way you want it done. I don't give a fuck how you feel. I don't care how you think. It's what I want, right? But that's enough because I gotta eat. I'm hungry and I don't want to waste my time on you. So I'll catch you later. Bye.